Are you one of those who think that coming together of Atiku and Peter Obi might upset the status quo in 2027?
Yeah, I think so.
If the two of them come together?
If the two of them come together, but I don't see, if the two of them can come together, it will upset the power structure. It will upset the power structure of Nigeria right now. Why? Because we know that Peter Obi has a fanatical fan base across the South. Atiku can also take advantage of the northern resentment to Tinubu's administration. However, why it's unlikely to happen is, should Peter Obi decide to be vice presidential candidate to Atiku, whatever it was that was responsible for his rise in popularity would dissipate. He's attracted to a fan base in the South, and I would say most of the Christian North, because of his aspirations to be president, not vice president. The moment he decides to be vice president to Atiku, that is the moment that his popularity will decline as fast as it rose. And Atiku cannot be vice president to him because, first of all, that is unconstitutional. He cannot serve in the same role more than 2 times. And because he cannot be vice president, or just for that reason, and of course also because he's older and was his boss
That was Professor Farooq Kperogi, Nigerian-born Professor Farooq Kperogi, Professor of Communication at Kansas State University in Greater Atlanta, United States of America, who has practiced journalism in Nigeria, but is now teaching journalism in the United States. And he has been a columnist, a regular columnist in Nigerian newspapers. You see his writings in Tribune, Note from Atlanta. That was Professor Kperogi taking a look at the possibility of Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election, and Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 presidential election. Talking about that they are coming together would be a game changer. He agreed that it will be a game changer, but he was quick to point out that it will not work. Why will it not work? Why would that not possibly happen? It's not that it will not work, but it will not happen. And his reasons for why it will not happen was also very germane. That Peter Obi has fanatical followers in the South and in the North. He talked about the Christian North supporting Peter Obi and the fanatical followers in the South. But that the reason why they support Peter Obi is because they want him to be the president, not to be the vice president. And that the moment he announces that he wants to be vice president, that his support base will dissipate. This support he's enjoying will dissipate. On a serious note, that is a dilemma in this coalition that I'm talking about. I have said it severally in this channel, that only coalition that makes sense is the coalition that is pretended over by Peter Obi as the arrowhead. Any coalition that Peter Obi is not the driver is not going to make a lot of sense to a lot of people. That is the dilemma. But you can see that the prof agrees that if they were for any reason to come together, it's going to be the game changer. It's going to upset a lot of things in the political equation of Nigeria. But will it happen? Already, Atiku cannot be vice president to Peter Obi because he has served as vice president for 2 terms. So he cannot, therefore, run again as vice president. That would be a violation of the constitution. I don't know what to think about this. Do you believe what Professor Kperogi is saying, that if Peter Obi is to be vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar, the support, his fame will drastically go down, that the people will no longer support him, that a lot of people will abandon him. You no longer have that kind of mass appeal. But people should also understand one thing. While I insist that Peter be arrowhead of any coalition, I do not think that Peter Obi's popularity will wane if he becomes vice presidential candidate to Atiku Abubakar. Why did I say this? In 2019, Atiku Abubakar did well because of Peter Obi. It was Peter Obi's popularity that drove Atiku Abubakar to the level he reached in 2019 election, because Peter Obi was his vice presidential candidate. A whole lot of people voted for Atiku Abubakar because of Peter Obi in 2019. That was what I believe motivated Peter Obi to say, okay, a lot of people were behind me when I was vice presidential candidate. Let me go for the big job. And he was able to galvanize Nigerians to move him to the level that many believe he won the election, but it was rigged against him. And with a little known party, the Labour Party. So the professor is making a lot of sense in saying that this union may not happen. And I strongly believe that any union that Peter Obi will be subservient to Atiku Abubakar at this time in 2027 shouldn't be acceptable to Peter Obi and those who truly want a new Nigeria. This is because right now, most Nigerians believe, and rightly so, that the power should remain in southern Nigeria. So if power should remain in southern Nigeria, and Tinubu, who is a southern presidential, who is a southern president, will do first term by 2027. His first term will end by 2027. Common sense dictates that the next president should also come from the south. And if you look at the whole of the south, there is no candidate, nobody that I can look at in the south who comes close to Peter Obi in terms of nationwide acceptability, in terms of fanatical followership and all that. So the presidency of any coalition should revolve around Peter Obi. Now, from what Farooq Kperogi said, that means that Peter Obi should go alone to retain his popularity. And let's be frank about this. Atiku Abubakar's period is over. People don't want to get the honest truth. Atiku Abubakar's era is over. Like the former national chairman of Interparty Advisory Council showed recently with data from INEC. Atiku Abubakar doesn't do well without structure. So why build the coming coalition around somebody who doesn't do well without a structure? Peter Obi does well without a structure. And now they are going to compete the 2027 election structureless, quote and unquote. Why did I say this? Why did I say this? It's not that, of course, we have debated the issue, what is structure? And Peter Obi rightly pointed, I said the structure is the people. But if you look at the history of Atiku Abubakar, he had only done well when he is with a party that has structure. In 2007, when he contested under ACN, Atiku Abubakar didn't win any state because the Tinubu structure that he relied upon couldn't even win him any state. He ran under the structure of ACN. At that time, Tinubu was the only governor. Was the only governor of the ACN from Southwest that was remaining from the legacy party of AD, Alliance for Democracy. No structure. Atiku performed woefully in 2007. Because that was the time Atiku himself was still in government as Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Atiku performed woefully. Why? Because the party he ran under, ACN, had only Lagos State, and it doesn't have any structure. It doesn't have any structure. And that is exactly, and we are entering a 2027 election that is going to be, he's going to run without structure. No governor is backing him now. PDP governors have made it clear. They are not part of any coalition too. So Atiku has lost out in PDP. No governors, no senators, no House of Reps members, nothing. So he doesn't have what it takes. He doesn't have the kind of fanatical support that few politicians enjoy, like in Nigeria. And the only two politicians in Nigeria that enjoy fanatical support are the grassroots. They are only Peter Obi and Muhammad Buhari. No other person. Even Tinubu does not enjoy fanatical support. His only support base is just the elite that he has been able to empower over the years. But those are not you don't go far when you rely on the elite. And Atiku relied on the elite. In 2019, Atiku had the structure of the PDP, and yet he wasn't able to outshine Peter Obi, that had no structure, no local government chairman, no state assembly members, no nothing. Atiku had 13 governors. He had 122 House of Reps members, and about 33 senators, or thereabout, and have state House of Assembly members. And he got about 6.9 million votes, and Peter Obi got 6 million votes, 6.1 million votes. So you look at it, now that Atiku don't have anything, he has been abandoned by the governors. It doesn't, even his state governor, Fintiri, is not with him. So, looking at it critically from that perspective, you can say that it doesn't serve Peter Obi's interest to be subservient to Atiku in this present dispensation, because Peter Obi is the one that has the momentum. He is the one that has the grassroots support. That's the only thing you need, the people's support. Because I have heard Madam Nasir Erofa say they don't need governors to be able to win. They need the people. And who is the people likely to follow? Who has the magic touch between Atiku and Peter Obi for people to follow him effortlessly without relying on money? Because Atiku lacking the support of these governors means drying of financial resources. And you can see that even in the last election, Peter Obi was the least financially buoyant of all the candidates, of the major candidates. He was the least financially buoyant. After you talk about Tinubu, money bag, you talk about Atiku, money bag, even though Atiku's financial fortune is not as it used to be, I was made to understand. And that was why the Delta governor at that time was said to have spent a lot of state resources, allegedly, to fund the campaign and all that. So when you look at it from that perspective, I think Atiku is not the man. Peter Obi is the man. And Farooq Kperogi is right in saying that why people love Peter Obi is that they want him to be the president. But even when he was vice presidential candidate, Nigerians still love him. But the fanatical support he's enjoying is because they want him to be the president of Nigeria. And they will prefer him to be the president of Nigeria than to be vice president to Atiku Abubakar. That is one thing I agree. One of the things I agree with Kperogi in his assessment of the situation of Atiku and Peter Obi coming together. As this time, Peter Obi is the one that is on top. Peter Obi cannot go and negotiate as an underdog. Atiku is the underdog right now because he doesn't have the fanatical support of the masses, and he doesn't have the support of the superstructure that have been provided for him all these years that he has been running under PDP. So he is going to run structureless, if you like, in 2027. And if you run structureless, unless you are Peter Obi, you are not going to do well. So Atiku is not going to do well. He's not supposed to be the one that they should run together with Peter Obi, and Peter Obi will play the underdog. No. Like if you listen to the whole video, Kperogi said, let's maybe Atiku can bring somebody as vice president. But Atiku Abubakar, that I know, I don't know Atiku Abubakar personally, but I know him historically, who will not be interested in stepping aside and say somebody should be vice president to Peter Obi, and then he will still support like he will with his full chest. I don't see that happening. I don't know what you think about this, but whatever is your position, what do you think about Peter Obi? Do you think that Peter Obi will lose his magic if he is to take the position of vice president to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar? Will he lose his support base if he does that? Whatever is your position, let's hear from you at the comment section. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.